Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do let me know if you are able to hear me. And if you cannot hear me, please let me know on the comment. Apologies, we're a bit late, technical issues. So if you are really joining us tonight, please let us know on the comments. And please do also share with somebody so that somebody can also be able to join us this evening. Please do notify us if you are able to hear us, and if you are unable to hear us, please also let us know so that we can know. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I hope everybody is well and everything is good. Please do let me know if you're able to hear me. Thank you very much for joining tonight. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for letting me know of that. Awesome, awesome. If everybody can hear me, that's good. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate, and apologies for that. It was just some glitches. But we are here tonight. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Juliana, and this is Julmon Empire. We provide IT and branding solutions. This includes graphic design, motion graphics, mobile apps, websites, self-publishing services, IT services, and so much more. So tonight, we are just going to cover something that I believe it's a basic thing, but it's something of importance, and I think that it will really be great for us to have this conversation. Okay, so our topic for tonight is how to choose the colors of your brand, and what do colors communicate? Because here's one thing for sure: colors they communicate. They speak. They say something. When you see certain colors, they evoke emotions, and people, we are visual people. When we see stuff, it says something to us. So I believe that when you're building a brand, when you're building a company, whatever you're building, colors are also something of importance. So I'm just going to briefly really touch base on it, and I believe somebody will be helped by this. Okay, so I'm going to touch on two things to get us to a point whereby we are helped by this topic. First thing will be the color wheel, color meaning, and then the other thing will be as to how do these two relate with your marketing and your brand. How do they relate, and how at the end of the day are they able to help you with your brand? Okay, thank you so much for that. So I'm just going to dive right into it, right? So there is something called the color wheel. And I think many of us, it's something that we may have seen it, or it's something that it is very much common to us. Okay, so okay, let me just do this. Yeah. I think this is easier. Okay, so this is a color wheel. This is a color wheel, right? And probably you may have come across it, saw it somewhere, or whatever the case is. But and even most applications and the softwares that we use in designing and so forth, they have something of this sort. And this is a color wheel. So what happens is that the color wheel, it shows you the relationship between colors, how each and every color relate with the other one. And that is why when, for example, if somebody says, I want warm colors, if you look at the color wheel, it has all the warm colors, like your yellows, your oranges, they are, on the same side. And you have the cool colors, your greenish and all that, they are all in the same side. So the color wheel, it puts, colors in a way that you are able to know which color is which, and the relationship between the colors. So for an example, when you look at it in this way, the colors that are next to each other on a color wheel, it means these colors can work together. It means these colors can complement each other, right? And then the colors that are opposite each other, it means these colors, they share something in common. Okay, so I know it will make sense as we go. I'm just not going to dwell so much into the technicalities of this. These are just basic things that I believe that most of us do know. But it's important for us to understand the theory of colors before we get to a point as to how they work in your branding. Okay, so this is a color wheel, and that's where we get our colors. But I think before we get there, so here's something that I just want to share with us, that it's also something of importance, right? Okay, and then at the same time as we have the color wheel, in the color wheel, what happens is that we have primary colors, right? Your red, your blue, and your yellow, which are primary colors. These are the colors whereby all the colors emanates from. Primary colors are the colors that created every single color that we have today. Okay, and then like there are no colors that you can mix to get your primary colors, but you can mix the primary colors to come up with secondary colors and then tertiary colors, right? So like I said, these are basic things that I believe that we need to know. So when we begin to design, when we get as a designer or as a graphic designer, when I begin to do this, I look at the color wheel, and then looking for an example, I start to look at your brand as to what is it that you are into. And then the moment that I see that your brand needs some warm colors or some cool colors, that's where I begin to get the colors of your brand. Before we get to the meaning of colors, this is the basic and the beginning of it. Knowing as to where you are going to lean more on. Are you going to lean more on warm colors or your cool colors, or it's something that you need to to ask yourself. And then I think that is something that will really get to help you. Okay, and then like I said, then you have we have secondary colors that are created from primary colors, and then you have tertiary colors that are created from primary and secondary colors. Okay, let's move. But now, here's something that is important. Every single color, it has a meaning. It means something. They all mean something. And if you've realized, we also use colors to communicate. For example, our traffic lights, we know, nobody tells us, we know already that this color means this one means that, this one means that, right? Because of its colors, they have communication. So same thing with brand. When people encounter your brand, when they look at the color, before they could read what is there, the color will tell them, give them an idea as to, oh, this is what it says, this is what it means. You know, let's take red for an example. Red, we know it's a color. It may evoke emotions of love. It may also evoke, speak of danger. So there are certain colors that mean two things at the same time. They can mean two opposite things at the same time, of which now how you use these colors, it's something of importance. That is why the way you use your colors, it matters, because certain colors may mean two opposite things at the same time. Okay. Now, all the colors. So I've just put something together, and just to give us an idea as to what do different colors mean. All right. Red, for example, we know red is for danger. We've always known such a thing like that. But violence, aggression, passion, you can see there are certain things that are opposite to each other. So how then are you going to send out the right message? It's how you're going to use the red color. Now, red is a primary color. There's no color you can mix to create red. Red is the one that creates other colors. Very much important. So when you begin to, if you want to portray passion using the red, but not in a way that somebody, when looks at it, may mistaken it as danger or violence, it's how you're going to use the red. You need to have different shades for it to come up as something that, so that it portrays the correct message. Okay. And then orange, like I said, it's the warmth color. It speaks of energy, right? And health and many other things. And then you have yellow, sunshine, happiness. I mean, we know when we see yellow what it means. We have pink, which is a feminine color. If you're speaking of something that is feminine, if you want to portray, femininity, that's the color to go with. And it also portrays love. Then you have purple. It portrays royalty. We all know that. Spirituality and all that stuff. I don't know if you've realized, most churches, they have the color purple on their logos or whatever they do, because purple has to do more with spirituality, royalty. Sometimes certain things we do them, it's not something that comes out we don't intend, but because of it's how they evoke the emotion, that's how we get to those colors. So, but it's better for us to know exactly as to why what different colors mean, so that when you choose something right. And then we know blue, loyalty, peace, cleanliness. I mean, when we blue is one of those colors. And then we have the green. It may represent greed, soothing, nature, and all that. So those are some, and like I said, there is just much more. I'm just going to touch base so that to get to the point that I'm driving at, to get to the part, something that will help us to have an understanding. Okay, now I want to show you, to give an example, to show you guys something that I believe that will give you an idea, and it will show what I'm describing right now. So here is the logo, right? As you read, it's a cleaning company, and it has two colors there. It's blue and it's green. Now, when you look at it, before you could read or try to figure everything out, the blue tells you, it speaks of cleanliness. It tells you that, okay, this is something that has to do with cleanliness, something that has to do with it's pure, water is involved in there. And then when you see green tells you, okay, they are using natural products to clean. The green tells you of nature, cleanliness. So already before you could tell much, it already convinced you that, wow, this is it has to do with cleaning, nature, and I know my house will come out, smelling very nice. All these colors, they are they are evoking those emotions to you, right? Because it's very important. It's very much important. The colors must go with what you're doing. So already when I see this, I can just tell, and already I have expectations before I can, I encounter with your services or what you do. I already have an idea, and I've already painted a picture. The reason people get disappointed with brands is because of the brand. They have everything correctly, the colors and everything, but then when they are supposed to deliver, they don't deliver what you had expected because the brand says this. So it now takes us to another point whereby it is very much important for your brand to align with what you do. It must align. Whatever you promise, it must be what you deliver. Because of already when people encounter this, I already have something. I already have something in mind. Okay, I hope this is making sense. I hope somebody is getting something. So when you choose colors for your brand, you don't choose colors based on because I love red or I love this color. That must not be the main thing. It mustn't be something that makes you to choose the colors of what you do. You must first look at your brand. That who am I targeting? Right? Let's say, okay, I'm targeting women, females, right? So already that you have established that part, and then you need to, when you begin to choose a color, then already when you have determined who you are targeting, then it takes you to the next step that, okay, this is the color that I need to choose, right? And then once you have established that part, you know who you are targeting. Now you know the colors that you need to choose. It makes it easier. People are able to relate with your brand. People are able to understand what is it that you are doing without things being too complicated. Certain brands or certain things that we come across is that you find that somebody will come and say that I need I need a logo. Let me take a logo again for an example. I need a logo, and I want this specific colors. I want this specific color. And somebody will give you 2 or 3 colors. Say I want this specific colors, and then as a graphic designer, as somebody who is working on your brand on my side, when I look at what you do and I look at the colors that you have requested, then I realize that there is so much contrast. The colors that you want will not work out with what you are doing. They mean something completely different when they are worked together. When they are mixed together, they mean something completely different, and it won't help you at all. So, what I mostly do, and I believe that most of you may will agree with me, what I do is that I'll create an option, give you something from what you have requested, and give you something that I believe this is right for you. And experience has showed me that most people will go with what I've recommended, because it's not about the fact that I love the colors. The colors have to communicate the right message. Let's look at this, for example, right? Especially retail shops and food places. There are certain colors. If you look at most of them, the yellow and the red, most of retails and food places, these are the colors they love using, because when you see the yellow color, the red, this happiness color, it's a color that if you are hungry, it's a color that says, okay, we are going to eat. It's a color that says food. And if you see the red, there's a certain shade of red. It tells you it's popping. There's this colors that pops out. So that is why, again, another thing, there are colors that pop out. There are colors that are quiet. They're just quiet. So when you choose your colors, your color scheme, now we get to the color scheme. Your colors must be in a strategic way. While somebody is thinking of a certain thing, whilst they are still evoking a certain emotion, then another color must just come to calm things down. Colors are something else. They are really something else. For example, me as a designer, as a graphic designer, when I see colors, they say something to me. They communicate to me because it's something that I use every single time to design. And when I have colors there, I'm able to come up with something because of the colors are there, and I can put them together in a way that they will tell a story. It's as simple as that. They are supposed to communicate a story, and somebody must be able to get the message. You know, um, like I said, now putting colors together, there are certain colors when put together, they may say a certain message, but when they are separate, they say a different message. Let's say, for example, we take red and green. It's Christmas. It tells you of Christmas already. It has that Christmas feel to it. It's how it is. I've designed something in the past, and a feedback from somebody, from a client, was it's too Christmassy. It's too Christmas. Let's change that, because of you can only try to express it in a way that you're seeing it. When they saw the thing, is because of they saw Christmas. You understand? So this is how the colors work. This is what colors do. The same emotion, when you see it, it gives to you. It's the same emotion it's going to give to your clients and the people who are trying to buy your brand. So it is very much important, very, very, very much important, because in the long run, it is going to work for you. It's going to work for your it's going to favor you. It will bring the right people your way. It will communicate the correct message. So we don't simply choose colors just because of, no, I love this color and whatever. No, the colors have to communicate. So all colors, they have what they say. And it's very key that we keep to that specific message. Now, I want to show you guys another logo that we created, right? And sometimes, like I said, the brief tells you what this is. And, we don't have the colors yet. And again, the other thing is this. People will tell you, no, man, I don't want it to be a cliche thing that, okay, just because of it's women, it must just be pink. Just because of its days, we must just be, do obvious things that, it's not creative. That's where creativity comes in. Remember when I showed you the color wheel? The color wheel, what happens is that it shows you, it's like a family. All colors have family. From red, there is all these other colors that came out of there, the shades and different hues and different schemes. Those are what, if you want something, like if it's in the family of red and you don't want to specifically use red, it shouldn't be obviously red. Like, you have many options for you to tap into the family of red, that when you look at it, it will still say feminine, and it will still say bold, and it will still say strong, and it will still say it will still be creative. It doesn't have to be just because of this color means this, then it means I'm just going to use a yellow pop, just like that. I give you a yellow just like that, and then go sort yourself out. No, it's not how it is. It's not how it should be. The color must be used creatively. It must be there, and when you're looking at it, it's not there, but it's there and it's saying something. That's what, what happens with creativity, right? So here's another logo that we did, right? Now, um, if you look at it, um, and before you look at the graphics themselves, and you just look at the color, it already tells you that, okay, this is it talks about it has that femininity to it. It has that thing that tells you that, okay, this is about beauty, this is about it has to do with women, and all that stuff. So when you look at it, it marries with what you see, what you see, and that they marry, they are together. So here's a challenge that sometimes you will see the icons on the logo and the text and the colors, those things will be fighting. Because here's the thing, we have different types of logos, but when you have a logo that has an icon, it has text, and then there is color. These three things: icon, text, color. Now, it means you are using these three things to communicate one message, right? Now, if you use these three things to communicate one message, and then you find that these three things are themselves fighting, how do you think the next person will be confused? Because now the tools we use to communicate themselves, they are not together. Now the other one is telling me this, the other one is telling me this, and the other one is telling me this. Confusion already, like completely confusion. Then somebody will not even get to understand as to, what are you saying, what are you selling, what are you doing, what is really happening here exactly. Okay, so if your logo, for example, I don't know how I'm getting to this, but I think it's important. If your logo is using these three elements, all these three elements must communicate one message. And then if you get to a point where the logo is using the two elements, text and color, then now you need to make sure, because the moment you reduce the elements you're using, it means that your message must be stronger. You must make sure the two elements, or all the elements that you have there, they're very strong and they're saying something very strongly. So if we had only text here and the column, it has to, before I could go anywhere, when I look at it, it has to say something very strong, right? And if we just had column, we then have to also, in the same way, make sure that whether it's colors or whether it's just only one color, it has to be very strong, and it has to speak very strongly, so that people are able to hear the message, right? I don't know if I'm making sense to somebody, but my thinking is that this is making sense, and it definitely should be helping somebody. Now, here is a situation. Let's say that, okay, well, I already have a logo, and I already have something, and when I look at my colors, I I don't know what they mean. I just like them because of, this is what I have. But I just don't know what they mean. I don't know what is what. The best thing is to take a look back, relook your logo, especially if your brand, you're starting to build your brand and it's growing. Take a look at it, and be sure that it's communicating the right message, because later stage is going to be a huge problem. Really, to be honest with you, it's going to be a huge problem for you, and it's something that is avoidable. If you get the right colors, then your brand is packaged correctly. Okay, so last thing before we just wrap it up, here's let's take a few brands that have maximized the the color part. That on their brand, they have really made sure that their colors are saying something, and it's very much impactful as to what they are saying. Right? Look at let's say McDonald's. Um, they have red and yellow, right? They have red and yellow, and the yellow, the yellow, and I know when I'm speaking of it, it comes to you as well. The red and the yellow. If you put the red and yellow together, it's food. They are saying food. They're saying hunger. They are saying, "Oh man, I must eat and be happy." They have that thing with them. The way if you use them popped out as they are. Look at KFC as well. Red. You have the red. You know, mostly food, red and yellow. It has that thing. It has a foodie thing to it, and it is that's how it is. That's how people react to this thing. That's the emotions. And then the second thing, you look at the cleaning companies. Most cleaning companies, blue is the color that you'll find is there most of the time. Blue. If you have blue or blue with green, like the example that I just showed us earlier, or blue with something, but now you must find a way to complement them for them to mean whatever that you're doing. But blue and green will tell you that, okay, this has to do with natural products, this has to do with cleaning, this has to do with something that has to do with nature. It tells you the message already before you can go into details. So I cannot emphasize so much on this, but it's that's the basic of it. That's how it is, and it is very much important. Even for an example, when you do something, your flyers, your marketing materials, make sure the colors communicate whatever the event is. They communicate that, or whatever the thing is, they communicate that with colors before you get somewhere far. I've always I've left something without reading it because of the colors. The colors told me that here it's not what I want, or here they are, whatever they are selling, I'm not buying it because of the colors. That's what the colors told me. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Make sure that before somebody gets closer, whenever you have created something, make sure the colors tells them what is it exactly that you're advertising there, right? So it's very important. And again, there are certain colors that don't work together. They completely do not work together. So it's and I think technology and the way things are, it has helped us to move away from that part. I don't really think that is a real problem that for people to make use of colors that do not work together, because that really it's something that is so much avoidable. Let me take you back to the color wheel. If you look at the color wheel, it will tell you the colors that go together. You will see the colors that are really next to each other. It tells you the colors that will work together. And as what we do is as designers, it's this is something we have in our programs. It's something that is there that you look at, and you put your colors into test, and you see what will go together. So colors are just not a matter of for you just saying that, no, I'm just going to use this color and that color, and then ta-da, that's it. No, it's something that is important. And I don't know about many other people, but it's something that I take very important, and I consider it when doing something. And same thing on your side. What you must do when you're creating or building your brand, you must know it's something that is important. Now, lastly, before we leave, so there are color codes, that because certain colors that we use as when we design, it's something that you have created there. The way the shades are, it's not something that you will go somewhere and just get the shade. So when I mix the colors together, when I do whatever, there are certain shades that come up that you won't just go somewhere and just get them. So which is why um, when you have certain shades on your logo, and of which it's something that actually it must happen. You must get the color codes and every single thing of your brand. If you're building a brand, you must have all those things. Your color codes must be there so that you know these are my colors and exactly how they are. If you get somebody else to do your work, you already have your color codes. As much as just the same thing with my clients that I have. Once I've created their stuff, I always have their color codes. So if we did a logo, then we're doing a flyer, I'm just going to take the color codes that we did using your logo, because of that is now your brand. Those color codes are important, for the use of your brand. Okay, I hope this helps. So what did we speak about? We spoke about the color wheel. We spoke about the meaning of different colors, and we spoke as to how is this important to your brand. So if we expand on this, it's a huge thing. But I think I just touched based on it, and touched based on a few things, which I believe that should be helpful to us. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really appreciate, and have a great evening. I know we had some few technical errors tonight, but it is well. I believe that we'll get it sorted. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining me.